There is no preamble or intro required for this. My friend and colleague Paul Bauer over at the Come On Man podcast, you can find the channel. I have it linked below. He kindly did a review of my book, and we help each other out. And if you come out with a book, I'll read, especially if it's on Audible. And so I reviewed his latest book, and in part, "Get Her to Fuck You Again" is the title of it. You can look it up. And in it, legit criticisms. Like, you mentioned Corey Wayne too much. According to Corey Wayne, every page starts out, according to Corey Wayne. There should just be a picture of Corey Wayne. And Paul he respects, and obviously was influenced by Corey Wayne in his research and his readings. But I was like, why, if you like him so much, why don't you marry him? So I gave him shit for that. What else? There was something. Oh, he believes in affirmations. I didn't know Paul was a chick. I didn't know he was. Did you know Paul was? I didn't know he was a chick. Maybe he's into astrology and tarot cards too. So I gave him shit for that. And just some minor shit, but they were burrs in my saddle. I'm like, what's with this what really? And so I did a video, 5 things I hate about Paul Bauer's book. But I had to conclude at the end, what he was writing was 100% correct and very practical and useful if you want to get your wife to have sex with you again. That's how bad things have gotten, boys. Getting your wife to have sex with you. You're not entitled. Yes, and you're not entitled to commitment. We'll continue on. So he did a review of my book. 5 things he hated about my book, Zero World Problems. And I was listening to it. I'm on a hike. I'm listening to it. Look, Paul, buddy, if you're going to come up with 5 things to hate my book, come up with 5 things that are hateable. These are weak ass, sad, hateful things. All right. I'm going to go over the 5 things that Paul hated about my book. And you tell me if these are even hate. These are like, meh. These are 5 things I could be meh about a book. These aren't, you can't even hate them. First, I don't mention Corey Wayne anywhere in the book. I haven't developed a personal loving relationship with Corey Wayne yet. I don't want to step on your territory, Paul. I really should listen to Corey Wayne's stuff. He's been around forever. If you haven't, check him out. He's one of the old school guys, back in the blogging days. Obviously influenced Paul, but yes, you're right. Corey Wayne is not mentioned in the book. Then another one that is unfair. He doesn't like the fact that there aren't even pages. Let me tell you something, Paul Bauer. Look, you're an author, right? And now Paul's IT guy, so maybe he knows the magic sauce on this. If you are ever going to publish a book on your own through Amazon and you use Microsoft Word simply does not allow you to number both pages. You can number even, you can number odd, you cannot number both. Cappy, I know a really virgin 50-year-old who knows the way to do it. Good for him. Microsoft Word has made it impossible for years to label both the odd and to get page numbers on both sides. It is a nightmare to get that done. I'm not even kidding. There was one time, like one of my first books, I was trying to get both pages numbered. I don't know how I did it, but I managed to do it. But it took, and no kidding, it took 2 hours. I was remember over at my favorite bar trying to work on it. I just could not get it to work. And what I realized is no one gives a shit except for Paul. Like, he had to go through he had to go to the comb store and say, show me your finest comb aisle. I want the finest comb to go through and find minor discrepancies among Cappy's books. And he's the only one to notice that. But if you were to take one of my books and open it, like a physical one, open it up, there's only one, either even or odd of the pages are numbered and not the others. And it's an unfortunate reality. It's not just simple number all pages. You want to see truly autistic IT nerd shit, go look into the whatever discussion forums or Microsoft community, like where people are trying to figure out how to do it. And everyone's like, it's so easy. It's so simple. You just got to do this and you got to do that. And it's like 8 pages of instructions. Like, there are people who actually defend it. You don't understand. It's like this way. Don't get me started about orphan page control. Do not get me started. So, yeah, the past, God, 7 books, I've just said, "Fuck it." I select number the pages, and it starts numbering it on page 1 or page 2, depending on whether I selected odd or even. So the table of contents, after you get through copyright and this and that and dedication page and signature page, you're already on page 3 of the table of contents, and chapter 1 starts on page 5 or 6. And for those of you who are aspiring book authors and all that, uh, yeah, man, just skip that one. No one's gonna care. Like, hey, the table of contents starts on page 4. What's going on here? Oh my goodness. Clarence, what's going on? Oh, so there's that. He says it's not an audio. I am working on that now. Not me, not my voice. I have my narrator working on it. He has a job, Paul. He's not some trust fund baby guy. Oh, that's another thing. He was complaining. Aside, this wasn't on his list, but he's still complaining. I mentioned Castle Rock, Colorado, which is the Edina of Colorado, and I slam on all the prissy little people down there for the materialist little sad people that they are. He complained because I didn't come visit him when I was in Castle Rock. Castle Rock is on the other side of the mountains, Paul. You live on the west side, which is at least a 3-hour drive in good weather and good traffic. Castle Rock, you got to go all the way back up to Denver, shoot over on 70. Atham, look it up. There wasn't a complaint that he had, but he was whiny. He was very whiny about that I didn't visit Paul. And by the way, Paul don't live in no big town like Grand Junction. He's out some, I don't know, Montrose, Delta, Atham, look at like some far-flung, no road goes straight there except 50 or 550. And even then, I don't knowing Paul, he doesn't conveniently live off of the highway there. I probably got to go drive off into the hinterlands, like go to Nucla. It's a town, look it up. And then like go find him, and 8 days later finally come to Paul's cave or wherever he lives out there. But he was complaining that the book wasn't an audible, and it's like, yeah, that's because it's being recorded right now, which I appreciate. I understand because I don't like reading physical books. But yeah, just hold on, it will be an audible. Then he has the gall. Paul has the gall to say that I am pessimistic, right? I'm like, I'm like, really? Really? I mean, you're the one that you got divorced, you went through the divorce ringer and all that other shit. You're not more pessimistic than I am right now. Maybe it's kind of, Paul, it would kind of be a Bert and Ernie phenomenon. Him and I'll concede maybe I'm a little less optimistic than you. Maybe I am Bert and he is Ernie. Oh, Bert. But I'm not pessimistic. My track record has been long established that y'all ain't pessimistic enough because reality keeps coming in and beating everyone's ass. Like, oh, you were right from decades ago, Cappy. Thank you. I say unto you, Paul Bauer is not pessimistic enough. So that, and then he says he envies my lifestyle. What does that got to do with the book? You, Paul, you got to come up with real legit problems you have with my book. And then Cappy gets to hike all day. That's not a complaint about a book. That's a complaint about me, my lifestyle. Anyway, I wanted to debunk Paul Bauer's reasons that my book was bad. I had to defend myself. Link below is a link to Zero World Problems. That's my latest book if you wanted to read it. I also linked to Paul's channel, so if you want to subscribe to his channel, out of charity and kindness, out of pity and sadness. Well, look at this optimistic Ernie where everything's wonderful and amazing. That's it. See you guys later, Toodles.